Hey YouTube. So, we all know that feminists are some of the most self-entitled, narcissistic, and whiny bitches in the sum total of human existence. Kinda goes without saying. It's pretty much part and parcel of the whole social justice warrior thing. So, lately, out of curiosity, I've been looking about the internet to see if I could find the most self-entitled of all the self-entitled whiny bitches. And it took a bit of doing, I admit, but I think that I finally managed to find a fitting contender for the crown of Queen Cunt. So, I'm gonna link to, a screenshot, because why give her views? But I'm going to link to a blog that I found a few days ago. It's written by a woman named Badisha. I'm no good with names, especially the Middle Eastern ones or wherever she's from. But she's a writer and a feminist activist who has written several books, and she also does quite a bit of bragging about her humanitarian work with groups like the Red Cross. However, in this one particular article of her blog, she provides copies of an email conversation that went on between herself and a Red Cross representative. In this, she was asked to be part of a panel discussion during the Red Cross's 150th anniversary thing on the importance of neutrality in the Red Cross's work. Now, one would think that such an invitation would be a great honor, especially for someone who is supposedly so devoted to humanitarian actions. Yet Miss Badisha refused to attend. Why, you ask? Well, because she was the only woman on the panel. No, seriously, that's actually the reason she gives. Apparently she didn't like the fact that all of the people on the panel were white males except for herself, so she decided the best way to deal with the problem is for the only non-white, non-male to not show up. That's the kind of genius level thinking that's made the feminist movement so very effective at fighting for women's rights for the last 60 years. Now, you can read the whole thing for yourself, but here's the part these are the parts that win her the prize. These are quotes from her blog post. And we know that the Red Cross does incredible work all over the world, much of it in places where the majority skin color is not white. Why do you have 5 white men and just 1 woman, one person of color, combined in the same person, namely me, on this very high-profile panel? So, here's the thing. Now, there is no point in this whole exchange where she actually objects to the credentials of these panelists, or where she objects to their ideas, or their education, or their capability. The only argument that she presents for this being bad is that these are white men. So one's gender or race is automatically enough to disqualify them from voicing an opinion on a subject. Which I'm guessing means that she would agree that feminists have no place talking about or voicing opinions in regards to men or issues important to them. Well, I look at her site, and quite clearly she has no problem with doing that, so I think I'm sensing something of a double standard here. That could just be me, though. The rules of this all seem to be very, very complicated. For instance, another quote. You are implying that women are not worth listening to, and that the correct makeup of a celebration of global aid work should be that 5 out of 6 authoritative speakers are white men. She got all of that just from being told the names of 5 people. So what does the next line say about implications? I'm sure you know, too, from experience, that the audience will be dominated by brilliant, humanitarian, engaged, experienced, and amazing women. I should point out that is literally the very next line. So by saying this then, isn't she implying men, or at least the men in the audience, will not be brilliant, humanitarian, amazing, etc.? Because it would seem to follow from her previous statement that not including women automatically means that they are simply not worth listening to. That, by extension, it would seem that by only pointing to one gender in the audience as being brilliant, humanitarian, etc., that she is therefore implying that men are never or can never be that. And while we're on the subject, why didn't she mention all the wonderful trannies in the audience? I would have thought a feminist wouldn't forget about the trannies. They're supposed to love the trannies. I thought trannies were the feminist version of having a black friend. Like I said, these rules are very complicated. But here's the kicker, though. I am shocked and surprised to see the Red Cross, which surely stands for humanity and for seeing all people as equal, is doing this. I'm just going to pause here and let the total fuckness of that line sink in for a moment. The woman who just finished telling the Red Cross why they suck because they had the audacity to have speakers of a race and gender she doesn't agree with is calling them out for not seeing people as equals. And I should mention too, in case you aren't going to actually read the whole thing, and I really don't blame you if you don't, without alcohol it's hard to get past the stupid. I mean, I can manage it because I have a lot of years of practice, but I don't recommend it for a beginner. Get booze. But I should mention that the Red Cross also provides her with a list of some of the women that they did try to get to come to the event, who they weren't able to get because they had other engagements. So, it's not even that they only asked one woman, it's just that out of the women they asked, she was the only one who was able to attend. You know, until she found out it was going to be a total sausage fest and bailed. You know, this I really think is how you can tell the difference between the ones who actually support charities and good causes because they actually care for the ones who are being hurt and for the causes themselves, and the ones who are just using it to feed their own egos. Her own desire for a feminist victim complex comes far and away before helping one of the world's largest humanitarian aid organizations, even given the chance to speak on a panel before ministers and other important people on the importance of the organization's aims. And keep in mind that this is a cause that she herself claims to fight for, that she claims to champion and work for. But, you know, fuck that, because there are too many dicks in the room. I mean, of all the fucking self-entitled, whiny, scum-sucking bitches, never mind all the people being helped, or the people in need, or basic humanity, this despicable excuse of a person refuses to even countenance the idea that white men may have important contributions to the discussion. She's a racist, she's a sexist, who hides among a humanitarian organization trying to boost her own ego so that she can feel fucking superior. I'm sure that at some point in the near future I'll find a feminist more disgusting than this one, but for right now, she takes the top place as Queen Cunt. Fucking feminist.